Lolade, Veep update before we begin. How's it going? Where are you?
I it's going good. I'm short for time. I don't really have time, but I'm I think I'm on episode 7, season 2, so I'm almost done with season 2.
Okay,
Fun
okay.
stuff. I was gonna talk to you guys about it. The episode where she went to Finland
Yes.
I didn't
and
know that was
she
that
met the
early.
Achieved the
prime
prime.
minister.
I
She's
didn't know that
so
was that
good.
early in the
That's so
season
good.
because the Prime
The
Minister
prime
actually
minister
plays
is
a
so
role
funny.
throughout the show. I forgot that was that early in the show.
Yeah, she does. She keeps coming back,
Oh
that
my
prime
Yeah.
minister.
god. I was shocked where they were exchanging gifts. Awkward, but so funny.
So I was gonna.
That was
I
good
didn't know
to
you were seeing
see.
season 2. 'Cause I was gonna ask you a question, but like it won't like it won't mean anything now because you're still in season 2, so it's fine.
Hmm.
But I guess the best way to know how far you are into the show is like, what are your thoughts on like Dan,
I don't like Dan.
Jonah?
He is. Oh, fuck Jonah. Jonah is irritating. He's so annoying. Every time I see him, I'm just like, oh, what do you want
Who
again?
else?
What
Who
now?
else?
What about
Amy?
Um,
Amy? What do you think about Amy?
I don't know. She's just like every other white woman out there. I don't.
Have you met Andrew,
I'm just
the
like,
ex,
okay. Who's ex?
Selena's ex?
Selena's ex.
Yes, her.
Her
Yeah, her
ex-husband.
husband. Yeah.
Fair.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Her daughter and
Catherine.
her
Oh my god.
and her boyfriend.
Are we
Yeah.
good? Okay, Aisha.
Yeah, fine. Catherine's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the show
Catherine
so
is
far.
really annoying though. Catherine's probably my least
She
favorite
is.
out of all of them.
She is. She is annoying. Oh my god. What's his name? I'm not good with name, guys. I'm so sorry. Like
Who?
the guy that plays like her personal assistant, the bad guy.
Gary. Gary.
Gary. Gary's girlfriend. What is her
Oh, is her
problem?
name like Jessica or Jennifer or something?
Dane. Is it Dana?
Who's
Dana.
Dana?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think her
Yeah.
girlfriend's name.
Dana.
No, don't.
Dana.
Isn't Dana this? No, that's Peggy or Peg. Peg, the secretary, the black
No, that's
secretary.
Sue.
Sue. That's
That's Sue.
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 That's
Yeah,
Sue. Yeah. Dana's the girlfriend. Ugh, Dana. What
I
is
know.
Dana's problem?
She's like
But
anybody
yeah,
would
I
want
need. I need.
Dan.
I
I'm
do need to
sorry, not
rewatch. I
Dan.
do need to rewatch
Gary.
Veep. I need to rewatch Veep. I need to go.
you
I need to go
should.
be around my boys Kent and.
Of
Have you
course,
met?
Kent is
You,
one of your
you haven't met.
boys.
Look, I just love a grumpy old man.
Yeah, you do. Fine.
This guy is
I
my
like
favorite
Kent too.
character.
I really like Kent.
Not Kent.
I
Was
like
Kent's
Kent.
twin brother.
Kent.
Oh,
Who liked Asian
I know who
women.
you
Why can't I
mean.
remember his name?
I
This
know
is ridiculous.
exactly who you mean. I know it's Ben. Is it Ben?
Ben.
Ben?
Ben, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's let's talk about
Him
Veeps.
liking Asian women is so specific
It
and
is very
real. But
specific.
anyway, yeah.
Remember when yeah. Let's talk about Veep's very distant European cousin. You guys talk about
Oh,
we're talk about
God.
regime.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. It's now 1 o'clock, so let's join our Chancellor to discuss episode 4 of HBO's The Regime. And guys, join me once again to debate the age-old question about whether pregnant tuners, in the words of Elena, pregnant tuners should be attending government protests. Try as you may, our love can be sanctioned. It's Ayisha and Lola Day. How are you guys doing? Welcome
Woo, woo,
back.
woo, woo,
It's
woo.
been
Hi,
4 months.
everyone.
Doing good. Do you know what's funny? It's actually 1 p.m. here right now.
Yeah,
So
and
this
it's
is
when you listen to your
perfect.
chancellor. Um,
Yeah.
how you guys
Exactly.
doing? Right, talk about we're in the back half of the regime now.
Hmm.
How you guys feeling?
Wow. It's been a ride. It's
Has
been a ride. It's been a
Yes.
journey.
has been a journey. And actually, on that note, I realized that I was trying to approach covering this show like a traditional show. And then I quickly realized that it's not a traditional show. So I was like, I'm just gonna make my notes and we're just gonna come here and talk. I was trying to go like, oh, should I go character by character or plot point by plot point? And then I realized the show is just like a mess. Like not that's not in a
Mm.
derogatory way, just like intentionally just a mess. And I was like, I can't decipher this the way I would decipher like Succession or I don't know, Mayor of Easttown. So yeah, we're just gonna have a like always we're gonna have it like last week, we're gonna have a wide ranging conversation. I'll probably just say like the synopsis and then we'll probably go from there. Everyone good?
Yeah, sounds
Lottie,
Yeah,
have
good.
you seen
that's all
Dune?
good.
Have I
Yes,
seen
have
what
you?
Dune? I'm halfway through
Or one?
the
The
first part.
first
I'm
one.
watching it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Of
I'm
course
watching
you
it
are.
with
I shall calm down.
my partner and
Um
watching
I
with my
do, do,
partner. It's pretty good.
didn't you wish that you'd taken my advice, no?
no, no.
What do you
No,
mean?
don't even listen to her. But I mean just
You know what? They're cooking something.
they are
I'm
cooking
actually
something.
I don't like watching things without seeing the previous part, so I would have watched one regardless.
Do you know why?
It's
Do you know
just
why, Lolade?
really
Because you are
long.
like a sensible human being who just has their priorities straight. Um,
What are you trying to
about
say
Aisha,
about
that
Ayisha right now? Yeah.
she, I mean,
Bankole
okay.
is always on my ass.
Oh,
Bankole
I have.
always, always just
If you haven't
chasing
listened,
my
please go listen
tail,
to.
ready.
Please go. Please go listen to Aisha, Priscilla, and Jess talk about Dune Part Two, in which I found out that Aisha only even watched Dune on Netflix for the first time. So like, basically, all her thoughts are like, I was like, okay. Well, she was like, oh, it wasn't that. I was like, oh, sorry. But no, please go listen to them talk about Dune Part 2. Um, Aisha has some thoughts, has some
Mm.
criticisms, all of which I disagree with. Um, no, actually, I was
I
going to
said
actually
some
mess.
really nice things as well.
You did say some nice things. I was going to actually message you though. There are some criticisms that I agree with, but they kind of not floated away, but they made more sense on my rewatch, which was weird because for you, apparently, I think they became more obvious for you in your rewatch, which was quite interesting. Um, but even a
Wait,
generational
wait, I'm
hater,
confused. You're saying that they made no sense.
no, they made
They
more
made less
sense.
sense.
They made more sense to me on my rewatch because like on the first time I was like I don't like that, but then I was like oh I think I kind of see it. But again, the rewatch was an interesting experience
Oh,
because I knew where
okay.
it was going, and then so I enjoyed
But
doing
bear in
that.
mind, I liked it enough to watch it 2 times in one day,
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say
I
like
want to
even a
be able
generational
to
hater like Aisha,
remember
like
that.
she still couldn't like not.
You watched it
It's a bit insane.
twice in one
That's a
day?
bit insane. I didn't even do
One day,
Barbenheimer in the
yeah.
same day.
That's like half your day gone.
Yeah, like it's a bit crazy to
Yeah,
watch
I
this movie
know.
twice in one day. I don't know how you're not tired, but like,
I know.
despite the fact that like
Insane.
your entire body is made up of
I
18
watched
genes, you still like the movie. So like that says something about what a normal person would think about Dune too.
and I
But
watched
I
it
would,
like 1 a.m. as well the second time. So
yeah. But I would say, Lola, to you
it's
and your
wild.
partner, please try and watch Dune Part Two while it's still in the cinemas. Don't wait for it to come out on Netflix, please. Also, while it's
Okay,
still like
guys.
not packed, but like while people are still going, because it is like a movie that you want to watch in the community. I think
With
both times
people.
I've watched it,
Okay.
people clapped at
Can
the
I
end,
ask a
which is
question?
quite interesting. Yeah,
What are your
Hmm.
partner's thoughts on on this and cinema in general? Like,
Yeah, he's into stuff, like into things everybody else watches, but I wouldn't say he's like a film snob like the
okay,
other people on
like
this
Bankole.
podcast. So
whoa.
mm, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Bankole
You
is a
think
snob
I'm the snob
apparently.
on this podcast? Okay.
I think you're a
It's
film snob. It's not a bad
I don't think I'll
thing.
be film.
110%
I
you.
don't think I'll be
Because
film
let me
snob.
just say, I like all sorts of film.
No,
I'm
you
just
do
an
not.
analytical person.
Actually, you do not.
I'm
Like, you don't like animation. You don't like superheroes. You clearly don't like. So, like, how is that every kind? Like, what do you like?
no,
You like foreign
no.
films in which a man wanders across a city for. I haven't watched Perfect Days yet. I'm sorry.
You misunderstand me.
Hmm.
I just say that I don't watch anime. I have no gripe with anime. Anime may be fantastic. I just don't
First of all, I
personally
said
watch it.
animation, not anime. That's the whole. We've already seen kind of like
Yeah.
who you
Yeah, I'm
are
sorry. Animation,
already.
anime, whatever. Like,
You can't
sorry
say that. You
guys.
can't
Like,
say that because I do not
Why
want to be
not
lynched. You can't
though?
say whatever animation. That's like a
okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I really admire it. Okay, I really do. I just don't watch it. Although I watch The Incredibles. Okay, so
well,
that's
thank you.
something. Oh,
Anyway,
so your little film
Um
couple. That's
yeah, film
adorable.
couple.
Lol. Yeah, we are. It's funny because he did want us to go see it at the movies this weekend, and I was like, I don't know. It's like 2+ hours. I might fall asleep at the movies.
What does that
Okay,
mean?
It's
So
we'll
okay.
go
you
see
don't
it.
plan on watching it at all in cinema?
I literally told him
Do
we
you
should just
see? Do you
wait.
literally see? This is the
And
person you're calling non-film buff. I was
and
completely understanding of him not
no,
wanting to watch
but I'd
Troy.
just like to announce to our listeners that this is Lola's last time talking about the regime. Unfortunately, she fell ill for episode 5 and 6. Um,
Yeah,
it was
I'm
it was
falling
it was
ill in
yeah, it was quite
advance.
tough when we realized that she was ill and she couldn't make it. No, please come on, please go watch. Like, okay, I'm joking, and I know going to cinema is expensive. I know that, but like, this is a movie that you want to watch in the cinema. Like,
Hmm.
take a nap before you go. Just go watch it, please.
Okay.
I'm not saying you to go watch Girls with Flower Moon, which was 3.5 hours. I understand if you don't, but like, this is it. Just go watch this.
Oh
Go
my
watch and
god, bank
take a
holiday
nap and
coming.
then go. Okay.
All right.
Uh,
We'll go see it this weekend.
you don't have to go this weekend. You haven't finished part one. I'm just saying, like, just plan on.
I'll finish it
Oh, okay,
today.
that's fair.
We'll
I
finish
mean,
it
I'm not gonna
today.
speak on that
Aisha,
part one thing.
Aisha,
So sorry.
Aisha.
I promise. I won't say anything.
It's so funny because I came out of part one being like, "Fuck yeah, cinema is back," and I was like, and then everyone was like, "Some part one is admittedly divisive. Lots of people loved it, other people didn't like it." So, but whatever. Okay, let's talk about what is also very divisive. The regime. Episode 4
Yeah.
is titled Midnight Feast and is written by Seth Reese,
Hmm.
who co-wrote the menu with Will Tracy and is directed once again by Stephen Frears. I'll just give like a quick synopsis and then we'll just talk about like the episode. So it's been 4 months since Herbert was arrested, and he's having just as good a time as you'd expect in prison. He hasn't slept for a week, I think they say, and he continues to hear Elena's voice, both the real one and the imagined one. Over in the palace, Elena is experiencing the most, for me, I think it's the most intense perimenopausal symptom I've seen on screen. I can't remember seeing this kind of like perimenopause depicted like this on screen. Um, which I
Mhm.
guess maybe probably it's worse because it's Elena we're talking about here, and she is psychotic. Um, she's feeling extremely hot, so logically the entire palace is kitted with air conditioners, and everyone has to act like they are boiling as well. Bartos and China have taken over the cobalt mines, but then the miners' problems continue, and they continue to strike. And a pregnant woman takes a kick to her stomach from a horse for her troubles. Back at the prison, we're introduced to Hugh Grant's Edward Keplinger, who apparently has been in prison for the past 7 years, and they only drag him out occasionally to do like a fake news reel where he's apparently quote unquote in his mansion. Um, and at this point, just in case you didn't know what kind of person Elena was, we find out that she has taken his family hostage and he has no idea where they are. Keplinger tries to befriend Herbert. At first, things are rocky, then they seem to be going on well. Then Herbert remembers who his real mommy is and he kills Keplinger. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. While all of this is happening, Elena and Nikki try to meet with the Sugar Beet Union and they try to appease them. Elena does some politician speak stuff, but then later she instructs, but not really, but she kind of does, Mr. Laskin to frame and arrest the head of the Sugar Beet Union. All of this to create the kind of chaos that she needs to be as vicious as she wants to be. After being a good boy and killing Edward Keplinger, Elena brings Herbert back into the palace, and then at this point, the show was like, we're going to get rid of any subtlety that we had left. They theatrically staged their reunion, which leads them to finally fucking in front of everyone, including Elena's bewildered husband. And while all of this is happening, someone is trying to tap up Agnes for information in exchange for safe passage to America. Did I miss anything? Should we just talk about the show or the episode?
Yeah, I think you got it all.
What did you guys think about this episode and the developments?
Um, my mouth was open half the episode. I was just like, huh? I literally just kept saying, Elena, Elena, what? Yeah, that was me watching the episode. I,
To be fair, she
I
was your
know
like she was
last
like your
week I
girl boss
said,
last week, wasn't she? So this is a bit.
yes, yes, this is a lot. I know last week I was like, oh, so much happened last week's episode. I think so much more happened in this
Mm-hmm.
week's episode. This was a lot. Like, finding out Ed has been in jail the entire time. Um, Wild. I think her perimenopause symptoms from the first scene, I think I knew it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this lady is going through menopause. Like, why everybody knows this? But I felt like it was a bit extreme.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah, and I think it's because one, this is the regime, and two, it's Elena. So like,
Yeah.
it's definitely extreme. Like, I don't think it's normal, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
as a man who
Yeah.
has never and will never go through perimenopause.
Exactly. I was like, what do you know,
Yeah, I was
Bangoto,
like,
about
through my
it?
extensive years of research. Aisha, what do you think of the episode?
uh, okay. Well, I thought it was great, and I guess they kept my attention the entire time, which I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed. I did
Mm.
think that I really enjoyed her like perimenopausal whole kind of like break that she was having. But I just thought that that showed kind of how we've just gone around the circle and have come back to where we were before, but just in a different place because now they're all lying to her again. They were pretending that they're cold or pretending that the
Mm-hmm.
air isn't, we're back where we were before. And I think that also coincides with her absolute power right now and her like, dictatorship, really just embracing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because I like any extreme. So if you're going to be
Mm.
consistent and extreme, then I'm going to like
I
it. So
mean,
I
you
do
literally
like
asked for
it.
them
But
to get wilder, so yeah.
I did. I'm happy with it. Although are we talking about Hugh Grant now? Am I allowed
We
to talk
can.
about
There
him
is no
now?
structure. We can talk about Hugh Grant if we
Yes.
want.
Okay, because I just found it really wasteful that
Me too.
this is the end. I
Yeah.
just found that ridiculous to me. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing where I was like, what? There's no way you've just done that. So you just came for an episode. And honestly, the best scenes were with him and Elena, in my opinion.
It's so bad because
Those
he
are the
was so
best
good.
scenes to me.
He was so good in this
So
episode.
good. And you can completely believe his character. You can completely believe that they've imprisoned him. He just really did his job well. And the best scene was the dialogue between him and Elena and their back and forth. And you
Oh,
saw, I would say, kind of like
Yeah.
the real Elena in a way. You saw her come out. You're like, wow, I don't know if this was you. This is kind of fascinating. Um, yeah, no, I just found it so wasteful and just really like I don't know. I don't know. I struggle to defend this decision that they've made. But then I think the
yeah.
end, the end was okay. The end was
I mean,
okay. Although
it might be
I
one of
would have
those things
preferred.
where,
No.
yeah, so it might be one of those things where it was written before it
Mm.
was cast as Hugh Grant. Like, it was written that Kiplinger would die before
Yeah, but
it was.
even still,
Well, I mean, I guess you want writers to stick to their vision when, like, but it is like, I think I've I hope this doesn't betray anything about, I guess, my thoughts about women, but I have replayed him calling her a stupid bitch so many times because his delivery there is so good. Like, when he's like, what kind of voice is like, he says, they are afraid of you, and then you turn that fear into, no, he says they're afraid and you turn their fear into
voyeurism
something.
for you, right?
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
a caution for you, and now they turn that against you, and then that's what makes you afraid, you stupid bitch, something like that. And like, you could just, the
Just
anger with which he said it, and then you realize that she's keeping his children hostage, so that makes sense. Um, yeah, the back and forth, it was
just
like a tennis match
your
going back
own
and forth.
voyeuristic aims of
Yeah,
It
calling
was
a woman a
good.
stupid
I
bitch.
thought let's just talk about Hugh Grant here. Let's just do the Hugh Grant section. Um,
Yeah.
I thought he was great in that scene with Kate Winslet, and it's like, it's the scene you've been waiting for, right? You're waiting for the Hugh Grant Kate Winslet scene to go back and forth. And but I also thought he was really good in the scenes with Herbert, because you know that he's being a politician, you know that he's not telling him the complete truth, that he's still trying to use Herbert, but
Mm-hmm.
also like, you're like, yeah, but I don't think you're as bad as Elena. And I think
That's true.
when I didn't know, like, that they had
At least
divided
not
them
now.
into
At
sides.
least not Elena now.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. And I didn't know that there was like, oh, he was the leftist, quote unquote, and Elena was on the right. So I guess maybe
Mm-hmm.
that then goes because of my own personal politics. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this guy isn't that bad. even though he might be bad, he might not be that bad. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe he does care about the masses. He's still a politician, but maybe he does care about. And it's like, so yeah,
Mm.
especially on rewatch, you're like, oh, I can see where he's like lying to Herbert, or he's trying to use Herbert, and he's like, oh, don't call him a butcher, and things like that. So I really like those things as well. And even I don't know, I believed them becoming friends. Like even when like there's a point when Herbert tries to like rush to like help him because after he's been beaten by the gods, and the gods feel so
Mm-hmm.
bad for
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I thought Hugh Grant
Yeah.
was really good. I think if nothing else, but like maybe a guest actor Emmy nomination comes out of this, that would be nice. But like I thought he was really good
Mm.
this episode, and I was annoyed that they had him killed.
Killed him off. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked his room as well, by the way. Lovely. Lovely room. Really
Mm-hmm.
nice cave, kind of very
Jail chic.
Jail sheet.
yeah, jail chic, but kind of like using the landscape really nicely. That was really nice and sweet.
Hmm.
Those are two different
I
rooms,
have a
right?
question.
Like the different room where he was eating and where he was sleeping. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
two different rooms. The one
yeah,
he was sleeping is the one I liked, where Elena came to visit him. Yeah,
yeah. And where he dies. Um,
so
Even
so
that
so
scene where he's like,
disappointing.
you people don't really want, you just want to believe in, was he hope or something he said? Or pain, I can't remember what he said. I've written it down actually. But then, yeah, he kind of just like, you people don't really want to be helped. I don't, yeah, I thought he was really good this episode. And I am sad that he's not there. Are there any thoughts on Hugh Grant before we move on?
I think you guys summarized it perfectly. I think he was great in this. He was really, really good. Um, it's kind of sad that they just killed him off though, and it's just interesting because he was in like all of the promo and like the trailers, and I was expecting to see him, I guess, more time. So they just put him in one
I might
episode,
need to go back. I don't.
and that's
Oh,
it.
I think I only watched the first trailer, so I meant to go back and see how much he featured in the trailers. I was also kind of
Would he
looking
not be
forward
dead?
to. No, he's dead. He's
He's
dead. I
dead
was
for
hoping for
sure.
him to like gasp, but he's dead. Um,
That's so
uh,
sad. I just don't understand this show. I'm really trying right now, but
I don't think I don't think they
I'm
should to be
losing.
understood.
I'm losing. I know, but I know, and I'm happy with that. But I'm getting more frustrated as
Okay,
we
so
go on.
let's stay
I'm
there.
just
So is that affecting your appreciation of the show and your analysis of the show?
yeah, it is. I think like I don't know. Like if I take the show for what it is, then it's fine. But there are inconsistencies that like take me out of it again.
What kind of
One
inconsistencies?
Mm,
conversation, just like where are we with this show? Like we're obviously in contemporary, the contemporary era,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there are points that it makes it seem like we're not. And obviously the show has built its own world. I'm not exactly sure what the paradigms of that world is, and that makes it hard for me to buy into it at times because I'm like I just don't know whether the show exactly knows what the show is. You know,
Um, that's
which
interesting.
bothers me.
mhm.
I think it's noteworthy that this is the first time we ever left the palace. So the rest of the
Yes,
world, the rest of the country could be normal, but just like Elena's domain is the one that is upside down.
upside down, and I think they've tried to show that in terms of with her health, and I think the fact that she's going through perimenopause um, is I think important because that's a natural thing that most women, if not every woman goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that
Mhm.
it's made this absurd should just show you how upside down the world is. Like you're right within the palace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I love this show and I love wacky, weird, whimsical stuff because I am wacky, weird, and whimsical myself. So I love all these things, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Like it's like I feel like I need something. And I'm just not getting it. And the Kiplinger thing was like the thing for me. I was like, okay, finally, like was somewhere there's something I get here. And then they killed him off. And
Mhm.
I don't
That's
know.
yeah. I
What
mean, I
now?
too like. I was looking for. I remember being excited about Keplinger and Herbert versus Elena during the episode. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
if that's what happens, I'm excited about that because like he scorned Herbert and like he just wants his mommy's love, and then he goes and just sides with Keplinger. But I think I've gone the other way. opposite from you, Aisha. I think I've like, kind of let
Mm,
go of trying to hold on to the guardrails, and I think I
maybe. Maybe
realized
that's
that
what I need to do.
this is not a show. Okay, the best way I can put it is when we talk about industry season one, we did like a recap of it ahead of previewing season two, and I was like, oh, I don't think this is a show that would ever be a like a top tier show because it's too like flying by the seat of his pants. It's too like out there. It's too throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks, and that can be very fun. And I think like Mickey and Conrad described it as like it was a vibes show in season one, right? And I was like, that can be very fun, but it will never be elite. It will never be top tier because it just cannot reach those heights without a structure. Does that make sense? But then season two
Yeah, I
came,
agree, but I
and then
mm,
no, but season two came, and then Mickey and Conrad were like, "Oh, we realized that we had to go back and actually like make it a TV show." And I think season two is like more better than season one because they're like, "Oh, we realized that there's a structure for a reason." So I feel like this
yeah.
show is more of a vibe show. It doesn't really have the guardrails and like the blinders and everything to make it a um concise kind of structured show, but the vibes to me the vibes are elite. Like the vibes are just great. It's like so I can have
The
fun,
vibes are
but
great,
it
and
probably
I
won't be in
do
my top
want
10
to
of the
hang
year.
out with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do want to hang out with them all the time. And actually, I was listening to Kim Windsor talk about this, and she basically just mentioned that it was really hard for her to, do comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And when she recorded the first singing scene, where she sang at like the banquet,
Mm-hmm.
she
The
did the
manga,
first
yeah.
time. Obviously, Kate Winslet can actually sing, and so she did it her normal like singing voice, and she tried really hard. And Will Tracy was like, "It just doesn't work,"
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I think you need to do it badly." So she like had to do it badly, and then after she did it badly, apparently they all erupted into laughter and stuff. So I have to commend them for pulling off this world where like
Mm-hmm.
you're right, the vibes are immaculate in this world. It's amazing, but yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for something. I feel like maybe towards the latter half, maybe there'll be a shift. I don't know.
Maybe not though.
I
The way
think
the show is going, there might not
I
be that shift. That's what
yeah.
I'm trying to say. Like I'm trying to prepare you for that because like we discussed it last week that maybe we were suffering and the rest of like the critic community is suffering from like the shows that came before and the shows that it's being compared to.
I agree. Being compared
Right.
to,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I
Like
don't know.
Succession, no
Maybe
matter how
maybe I'm
wacky it got,
suffering.
it always had its own structure. So, but you're sorry, what are you saying? You're suffering?
Maybe I'm suffering from now the critics now
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. Maybe I'm
They,
suffering from that.
they go in
I
your
have to
head.
admit to that too. Maybe they got in my head. But I don't know if they got in my head because I still really enjoyed this episode. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
just really, maybe I'm just really pissed off that they killed off Hugh Grant and they
That's
wasted my
fair.
boy. Maybe
That's
that's what's
fair.
pissing me off. Maybe I'm just so angry at this. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck your show. Like, fuck you for doing
But
that. Like,
but then, again,
wasteful people.
I think the show that was looking for, and I keep using the word structure, but I don't even know if that's the right word. But I was looking for like I don't know, symmetry or whatever it is, would have kept Hugh Grant on and he would have been Elena's foil and would have seen him in 5 and 6, right? Would have seen him at the back of the season. But the show is just like, nah, that's done. We're done with that. He had a good time. He had a good run. Herbert kills him and Herbert is back in the mansion. And then whatever happens next week, we don't know. Like, so yeah, I think it's a vibe show. It's a show that maybe doesn't
But I just
necessarily.
think there's a balance. There's a balance that can be struck though, because at the same time you are making a TV show. I don't want to be what's if they wanted to make they could have just made like a they could have made like a like a fun little feature film or something if they wanted. You're making a TV show where people are tuning in every week to watch it. So I accept what you're saying in terms of industry that maybe they come back in season two and
Oh no,
I
this
don't
guy's
know.
not.
There's just a
There's no
balance to
season 2 here. It's a
strike.
limited series. No, but I'm saying like
Oh yeah, okay, maybe that makes more sense to me. Okay, that makes more sense to me than they're just having their fun.
yeah,
Okay, fine,
it's a fun show. It's
fine,
like again
fine,
like different aspirations, I guess. It's
fine,
not necessarily yeah,
fine.
which is again
If
yeah, we
there's
kind of
if
talked in
this is
last week.
the end, then yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
this
I'm
is definitely
fine.
a limited
I'm
series,
fine with
definitely a
that.
limited series. So I think it's like yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a show like
Okay.
it's just like oh this is a wacky idea. Let's see how far we can take this wacky idea.
I do
Honestly,
think
I
this
think it's
benefits from a
just
rewatch.
Mm,
Sorry, Lottie.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say I think it's just a fun show. I don't think we should be taking it seriously or like comparing it to anything. It's just vibes. Just roll with
Yeah.
it and just live in the world
I
for like
just
the
think
50 minutes.
I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. I feel like, okay, here's my issue. I just feel like there just needs to be some level of consistency, which I'm finding lacks as I keep watching.
But
When
okay,
I feel like
consistency
we
in
have
what?
that is when I leave the show. In whatever you're doing, like whatever you're doing, if you want it to be wacky, if you want it to be vibes, like I need to be along for the ride with your vibes.
Do you not
Like
think the
I
tone
need
has
to
been
like
consistent all season? I
Yeah,
think it has been consistent.
I think the tone has been consistent, but I just feel like, well, no, I don't think the tone has been consistent. I feel like I felt maybe episode 3, I was like, I know what I'm doing. Episode 4, I was, perhaps it was because we went outside of the palace for the first time.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Also,
sure
this is
how
the
I feel,
longest
but
time
something
jump we've
maybe
had
uneasy.
because I was like, oh wow,
it
four
Maybe
is.
months.
that's
That's a
it.
lot.
Maybe
It
that's it.
is.
But I'm I'm struggling with something at the moment. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think you're
I
struggling
think
with.
take
Are you looking for the show to have to say something? To have something to say?
No, I absolutely not. Like one of my favorite movies is This Is Spinal Tap. I rewatch that movie all the time. That movie
Hmm.
says nothing whatsoever. It's just funny and wacky and the wackiest shit you can watch, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. But it's consistent. That's my thing. Like it's consistent, like from the top to the bottom. You see what they're trying to build and you're along with them in their world. I just feel like if I'm watching it, I need to be with you
Hmm.
as a viewer, you
hmm,
know.
I mean, yeah, I think it's consistent, but it might not be. You might not like what it's consistent with or doing.
with, yeah.
But I think it, like, I never felt like this was a different person's show or somebody else like came in and took the show the last minute. I feel
Hmm.
like everybody
No,
here
no, no,
is
no. I
doing
don't mean
what they
to
wanted
that
to do.
extent.
Yeah.
I just mean like I can't clearly define the world that we're in
Okay.
most of the time.
But also maybe that is intentional. I mean, this
I
is
agree.
again
I
a
do
show,
think
a
so.
country that is not named, right? So maybe
Yeah,
it's
you're
meant to be
right.
like it
You're
can be
right.
anywhere and it can also be nowhere. She can
Yeah.
be Putin.
Maybe,
She can also be
maybe,
Trump. She could be no one. So like
maybe it's me.
it's
Maybe I'm too boring to watch this show. Maybe I'm just like you're tethering on my my realms of creativity. I'm
no.
like I
I
can't. It's too much
think
for me.
no. I think what happened is maybe you've gotten a bit more like serious since the critics came out, which is fair because
Yes,
I do think that some of the critical
definitely.
responses are fair, but I also think they're unfair in that that's not what the show is trying to do, but it's what we
Mm.
think the show should
No,
be doing.
no, I don't. Okay, I just want to clarify something. I don't think the show should be doing more serious things. I just
Hmm.
think when you world build, right? When you're building your world, whatever you decide that you're doing, however wacky you decide that you're doing it, there needs to be some level of consistency. Like I even bring up poor things as well. Like there's just some level of consistency in order for the people to buy your world. If you want to do something that's whimsical and wacky and you're just throwing in new things, they need to match with the things that you've been done before, because otherwise you're going to have your audience be disorientated as they go
Hmm.
throughout, which may be your aim. But then I think that's a bit of a, I find shows that do that are, I just don't find that a very smart aim, because you can do it the right way. I mean, sorry, not the right way, but you can do it a different way where,
That
you're
Freudian
still
slip
wacky
was
and you're still very
incredible.
whimsical. Sorry.
That Freudian
You're
slip
still
was so
wacky and
good.
you're still, I need to be careful because I'm slowly gathering haters online. So I need to be careful saying I'm gonna get death threats soon. Um yeah, no, just like a way that is consistent. So I don't know. I feel I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but
Um, no, I get what you
I still
mean.
love it though.
I get,
I
yeah,
still love it. I
but
don't
I think
know.
you know what? I think that's it. I think it's the show where the dualities can live. Where you're like, but
Yeah.
also you're weird and like you're my
No, but what they
fun
did to
weird
Hugh
cousin.
Grant, not on, not
Oh,
on.
like
They need to
we're
pay for
all
their
we're all
crimes.
agreed on that. We're all like we're all agreed on that. Like Hugh
Yeah.
Grant should have had a better role. But yeah, I mean also like whatever those haters are, like I am the one allowed to hate. Fuck the rest of them. My yeah, because my hating is based in fact. Ayisha's points are wrong. But
Okay.
that's like everyone else online. Fuck them. Um,
Okay.
we've got your back. Okay. Where should we talk about the end? So,
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait.
well,
Go
actually,
ahead
hold
with
Oh,
on.
your
Before we go to the
thoughts.
end, Aisha, Aisha and Lorde, wait. I see you guys are just ready to jump on that. But Elena, she goes
Uh,
full dictator. She
oh
yeah.
yeah.
she sets
Oh
up
yeah. Oh yeah.
a labor
Mm-hmm.
leader, which is kind of wild considering the year we just had. She frames a labor leader, and
Yeah, she does.
like this, I thought this episode was kind of like it was Elena Breaking Bad in the way that they were like, if you didn't already know that she's the villain or one of the villains, like
Yeah.
here, these are the examples. Let's show you. Like
Mm-hmm.
her opponent
Look
is in
here.
jail. She literally imprisoned her opponent and took away his family and is squashing labor rights by. I mean, let's talk about the children's scene because that was hilarious. I can't
Yeah.
believe
Like
we're about to
you
get
were
through without talking
saying,
about that. Like,
you were going through all the things she did, and I was like, you need to mention the kids first off. You also need to mention how she didn't give a fuck
yeah,
about the pregnant lady who
She said,
died.
she said if I was a
She was like,
pregnant tuna,
why
I
would
wouldn't
you?
go to a
Yeah.
protest.
She's like, why would she do that? It's her fault.
Exactly.
She's stone cold. This
And now
episode, I
she's
was just like, oh my
treating the
god.
child, what's it called, Andrew
It's,
Riseborough's kid.
Yeah, she realized what
whoa.
mothering is. She's like, oh, I don't want this anymore, man. Um,
Whoa.
yeah, I love the Q&A because they didn't even try to hide that it was staged.
Yeah.
Like the kids are literally reading from cue cards. I was just like, this is so
Mm-hmm.
funny. Just a couple quotes quickly. When she says, "Oh, I know you're from the West Gate. I could smell it," and then you cut to him, and he's like, "Oh, pity that usually plays," like insulting them. And when the child is like giving the china of it all, and it's like, "Oh, well, kids say that, don't they?" I was like, this is so that's so deep. That was like so like just bumbling people
Yeah, that
behind the
was.
leader. But yeah, she sets up this guy. She frames him because she says she wants chaos because that way she gets. Because again, I should have written out what she said. But she was like, if I attack a peaceful protester, I'm a dictator. If I attack someone that's causing chaos, again, we saw this across the world, especially America in 2020. When you attack them
Mm-hmm.
and label them quote unquote looters as opposed to protesters, then it's a whole different thing. So yeah, like the show was like she's a terrible person in case you did not know. Um do you guys have any thoughts about that? And then I'll go to your favorite part of the episode.
About Elena
um,
being
Just about her actions against the labor leader.
that was insane. Sugar Beet
ins-
Union.
Sugar Beet
I
Union.
think the only note I had was, what the hell is this Sugar Beet Union?
Well, sugar beet
And
is a vegetable, right?
I'm pretty
Is
sure it
it?
is.
Isn't
I
it?
don't know if it is because
Isn't
I
that
have
what
no
like
idea.
Dwight's family
Doesn't it
farmed
just
on the
look
office?
like a beetroot?
Beets. They did
Oh, those are
beets.
two different things.
Like Dwight did beets, yeah, but I don't know if sugar beets are a thing. Let me
Oh, you
check.
think
Yeah,
it's
me
a
neither. What is
created
sugar beet?
crop?
Okay, they're actually a
Might
thing.
be.
Sorry. My
Oh,
bad.
are they?
And they actually grow here, like where I'm from. I mean, where I'm
I was
at.
literally gonna. I was
Ooh,
gonna mention
another
something, but I'm not
slip. Where
gonna
you
say it now.
from? Not you denouncing your country live on air. She's like,
Just do
fuck
what you need to
You know
do,
Nigeria.
what?
Daddy.
No
Do
regrets.
what you need to
No
survive.
regrets.
You
Fuck
know, I was gonna
Nigeria.
be like, Lordy,
Oh,
you're a Ghanaian, but you don't know what sugar beet is.
yeah.
Did you call me a gardener? Oh, that was a good
It
one.
is a good one.
Yeah.
I think I cut it off from last episode,
Funny.
so people won't really understand the reference. But the three of us get it. The three of us understand it.
Yeah, we
That
get
was
it.
good. That was good.
Um,
Yeah, they're an actual
Um,
thing.
yeah, but she
yeah,
frames
it
him.
just was like so like trade union, Margaret
Hmm.
Thatcher, like, fuck the people, kind of,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then it's
whatever.
also kind of
She just was got on.
dark considering how politician she was being when she went to meet the union, and she's like nodding at them and responding and
Mhm.
showing empathy or whatever, and
Hmm.
she's planning this deep down. Quite savage
I
from Elena.
yeah,
Who knew
like in
Elena
my
had these
mind
skills?
when I was shocked this episode
Using it for
when
bad, not for good. Naughty.
she went. when she was at the union,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, this is going okay, but like I think the point where I knew she's going to do something was
Mm.
when the president of the union goes, "Thank you for coming. We knew you'd see
Oh
reason."
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, "Oh,
Yes.
why?"
yeah,
Do you know what?
yeah,
Actually, those things really piss me off because I always find to myself like people always. I'm not supporting her, obviously. I'm not, but I just find those comments really weird because you're just like you already know you're dealing with a difficult person.
yeah.
Why would you then
Why
add
are you
that in?
testing it,
Why
man?
would you
Why you
say that
just
to
allow
It
her?
it?
just
Just allow
reminds
it.
me of John and Danny in the last season of Game of Thrones. I'm just like, mate, like just shut up. Like you
Just let
don't
it
have to say
be.
some things. Just let it be. Yeah, no,
I'm
they
so
overshoot their mark thinking they can succeed.
yeah. I'm happy he didn't die. I thought they were going to kill him. I thought that was the plan. Like,
Oh,
oh, he has a gun.
so close.
I guess that happened in
Yeah.
America. Okay, let's talk about the actual end of the episode. I mentioned in my synopsis that like the show was just like, yeah, fuck any subtlety. We're going to stage this like a play. Spotlights are going to come out from
So
God
we
knows where.
stay
um,
about you and me.
I don't think anyone had episode 4 on their bingo card. I think Aisha you
No,
said
we
episode
were all
3,
wrong.
so
We all
they
wrong.
lasted longer than we thought. Uh,
Yeah.
who wants to start?
Lolly,
Start.
Lola Day, Queen of Laws, L, Big L, L on top. Would you like to
Oh,
lead?
thank you. Gas me up. Um, you know what? I when I knew they were going to have sex. It was inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
But this being the way it happened, I think I'm not mad that they waited this long and it happened this way. Obviously, we're all upset that they took Hugh Grant out of
Yeah,
the show early, but like him killing Ed being the breaking
yeah.
point is very fitting, no, for like their dynamic.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
first of all, he sleeps for the first time in apparently a very long time after, which is again
Yeah,
very psychotic. But
Very
yeah, I
weird,
mean,
yeah.
the idea is maybe that's what she wanted from him, or she wanted him to do something like that. Because
yeah. Like, is
Prove his
that why
loyalty,
she
kiss
put
the
him
ring.
there?
well, I don't know if it's why she. I think she put him there because he was getting too big for his boots. Genuinely, but
Yeah.
then this
Hmm.
episode, she's asking Agnes about him. Like she's like, "Is it doing well? Is it sleeping?" So clearly she
Hmm.
cared, and then obviously they share that look when she's leaving, keeping his cell. I don't know. Maybe him killing keeping her was like because Lanskin says like you got her attention. Maybe that was when she was like, oh, you're actually loyal to me. I
Mm.
guess is the best. That was she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I fully have you, and now I want to have you. I guess I don't know. I again the problem. This is the
But I
problem
mean,
with
it
four
tracks though. It
months.
tracks though, because
Hmm.
she's going into like full on dictatorship. I see red dictator, and what she needs right now is, especially with Kiplinger, is like everyone's against her. What she needs is blind loyalty. So
Yeah.
I think it just came at
Mm.
the perfect time of like, he did it at a good time, and she is also in a space to receive it, and boom,
Hmm.
bam, spontaneous combustion.
Fair. Nice way to put that. But yeah. So yeah, and then should we talk about the people in the room?
Oh, my poor
That was
Nikki. It's
amazing.
so sad because I put in my notes, I was like, you know what? I think Nikki is slowly becoming my favorite.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
felt so bad for him. Did you see his face? He was like,
Yeah, his
what
And
face.
then,
Like, who's, are they
and then
allowing
someone,
this?
lady, and someone's like, "Don't no, don't look." I was like, "That's so funny."
Yeah. Like his wife is literally about to
About to.
sleep with someone
Um,
sleep with someone else in front of him. She didn't even
Gorgeous.
care
she
that
says
he
she
was there.
says, "Don't stop" to Herbert. Like,
Hmm.
it, the, there's 2 seconds where like Nikki goes to like put them apart, and Herbert just throws him away. It was actually so funny. I was like, "This is yeah." It happening this way was just it was
I
kind of
loved it.
hilarious. It was kind of hilarious.
I
Um,
loved it. I'd like to state very loudly for anyone that might listen to this that I loved it because my brother-in-law called me out that apparently I'm uncomfortable with the human form. So I just want him to know that I love this
Can
and
we
I was
have
enjoying every
context?
bit.
What made him say this to you?
Because I said
Were you watching Poor
I didn't
Things?
like John Cena. I didn't like John Cena being
Uh,
naked in the Oscars, and he said I'm uncomfortable with human form. I just don't understand like body humor. So I want him to understand that
but you
I
actually,
love
but
this.
also the human form wasn't on display here. They like kissed and moved off screen,
Doesn't it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The
so
human
he might be
forms
correct.
interacting one another it still counts. He's
Uh,
not correct because I love poor things too. So there we go. But I
maybe
just
you
want
just like
to
Emma
point that
Stone's
out.
body. Um,
God.
what about John Cena's body? Do you not like?
No, I just didn't think it was funny,
Do you
but
think it
then
was
he
fine? No,
turned
I'm
it into
joking.
like this whole like deep like cerebral thing I was having with like,
It's fine if you
but
have
it doesn't
anxieties
matter.
about the human form and you think that everybody should be clothed fully. That makes sense. That tracks. It's fine. Yeah, you can unpack
Exactly.
that if you want. No, okay. Let's talk about Agnes
Therapist
quickly.
couch next week, guys.
Let's talk about Agnes quickly, and then we'll wrap up. Somebody's trying to get her to America to like kind of spill the beans. My one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite
that
lines of
was
the
wild.
episode is when she like sees a god and she hangs up the coin. She's like, "I'm loyal to my chancellor. You're a demon. Never call me again." And I was like, whatever goes on in Agnes' head when she makes this comment is so she's like, "You're a demon, never call me again." I was like, this woman, I love you so
Isn't that
much.
such a Nigerian thing to
Yes.
say, actually?
It is.
She's like,
It
Also,
very
another
much
thing I
is.
wanted to add that was another thing that was said was when Elena is in the meeting and she comes in the ice bath. She comes the
mm-hmm.
projected in the ice bath, and she goes,
Hmm.
"Don't look at me like that. There's a bad flavor in this room, and it's a loser's flavor." And I loved it
Yeah.
so much.
She's she's
Yeah, I have
insane.
I have some.
Um,
Yeah, it was really good. There's some choice lines this episode. I felt I wasn't sure if like the bath thing was kind of like a reference to Churchill, because I think it's noted that Churchill used to like have meetings while on the toilet, and like
oh
with
yeah, I heard about
his
that.
people like are
Hmm.
outside, out just outside, and sometimes the door was open. Um,
Ew, smelly.
Disgusting.
look, man. White man, what are you gonna do? Um, no, yeah, I thought there was some very. What I also found interesting in this episode was the amount of propaganda in this episode, but especially it was
Yeah.
especially through the radio thing. I wrote down a few lines I just thought were
Hmm.
hilarious. Um, so Elena says the Fabian reunification was an unmitigated success, and I was like, we lived through Trump. We know who you're talking about. We know who talks like that. Then after her whole thing with the kids and the nosebleed, the news report goes, despite the brief medical mishap, those in attendance were said to be delighted by the chancellor's performance. I was like, who said this? Then they blamed it on CIA. They were like, she may have been the victim of a pulsed radio frequency attack by the CIA. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, you guys are going well overboard with propaganda this episode. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I have let go of any guardrails I was holding on for this episode. For this show. I think
Mm.
this is a show that I think it's a show you experience. You don't think about it. You don't like live. You just experience it as a show. You let it live through you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
Honestly, just tune in every week saying surprise me.
For some fun. Tune
yeah,
in every week for
And
some
just
fun.
just
yeah.
go with it.
It's not. If the show was on, like if the show was on Hulu, for example, it might have a different perception than if it wasn't like a
I
Sunday night
agree.
HBO show.
Mm,
Well, HBO right now. Oof.
But yeah, no. But I'm enjoying the show. I think I I don't know. I think we need to like it's a good experience. It's like
Yeah,
I'm
no,
having a good time.
I think
yeah.
for me, I want to finish and I'm still enjoying it. And but I think when I rewatch it, I will have like less expectation,
Yeah,
because
it's so
now I'm
funny
just
because
like
I
on the
think
edge of my seat.
if this show became like so serious, the last two episodes, or not so serious, but like it actually like did a thing, and made a point of like,
Mm,
what the fuck? Where did that come from? Give me back my vibe
I
show. Like,
agree,
I'll be like,
actually.
what is this whiplash? Uh, but yeah, okay. Quick guesses. How many months do we skip for the next? So we've done 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So 5 weeks, four
We
months.
skip a year.
No, because it's meant to cover a year. The
Ooh.
whole show meant to cover. The whole season meant to cover a year.
Oh, oh my
So we've
God.
done
Okay.
5 months essentially.
Maybe they
Uh,
don't skip. I think they start. They start when
I
it's
would like
happening
that. I would
again
like if they don't
straight
skip.
after.
I
Yeah.
would like if they don't skip, but I
I'd
don't
like
think
to
that's
know what the morning after is like
yes.
for Nikki,
Yeah,
Herbert, and Elena.
but I don't
And
think
they
that's
were like
I don't think that's the case. I feel like they will skip a bit.
polyamorous. So
They're not gonna show
yeah.
us that.
Yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts? Ladi has to go watch Dune.
Nope.
Finish Dune
Let's
one.
keep it going.
Yep.
Um,
I'm off to watch
Yeah.
Monk, which is now on Netflix.
well, like for the first time.
No, for like the third time.
So you're just in your rewatch bag right now because you said you're rewatching Game of
Yes, I
Thrones.
am.
You're rewatching Veep,
Yeah, yeah,
and now you want to rewatch
yeah.
Monk.
I'm rewatching. Yeah, but I have an unnatural attachment to shows. Like I've watched Grey's Anatomy like 10 times.
There are like 30
Oh my
seasons.
gosh,
What are you guys
same.
talking about?
No, but I don't. No. But I only watched till season 6 or 7. The rest are shit. Sorry.
Why? You skip all the deaths.
Oh no.
I don't know.
It just gets boring. I think that's when Christina leaves, and Christina is my favorite character. So why watch after she's gone?
Okay.
So you just keep on
You
watching
know
one and
what? It
seven,
makes
one to
sense that
seven.
Christina is your favorite
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
character.
yeah.
does
1-7.
wait? Why does
I
it make
always
sense,
watch.
Olade?
I was
I don't know how to
saddest.
explain it,
Sorry, what did you
but it
say?
makes sense. I said it makes sense that your favorite character is Christina. I don't know how to
Okay, I'm gonna
explain it.
just quickly. We need to go, but I'm gonna just make a lot of sense for you. Christina is my favorite character. If you watch Gilmore Girls, Paris is my favorite character. There's just a lot of
Yep.
characters that are on
Don't
that
worry.
similar
I get
vibe.
it.
You understand who I am.
I get it.
What
Hive
vibe is
mind.
this?
I get it.
I could be Elena. I could be
I
a
get it.
dictator. That's the vibe.
So does this like is this the same thing as how like I love all the grumpy old men on TV shows?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
Ben is my favorite on Veep, and Jay is my favorite on Modern Family, and Nick Miller is one of my favorite
Yeah.
TV characters of all time. Uh,
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Nick
Yeah.
Miller.
Makes
I
He
sense.
love Nick
is.
Miller so
Respect that.
much. Okay, let's wrap it up there, guys. Thank you very much for listening. This was a great conversation, Aisha. Thank you for bringing in your anxieties and us discussing them.
Yeah.
I don't think we help, but it's fun. It's fun to talk about anxieties.
You
But
never
yeah, 2 more
help.
episodes.
Bankole
Yeah,
keeps
I'm
my
just never
therapist
help.
bankrolled.
The therapist is like, "What happened this week?" It's like you wouldn't believe. I spoke to Bankole and it's just like a whole different thing. It's like okay,
Yeah,
I'll
literally.
put in two hours this week. Okay, no, thank you very much for listening, guys. Go listen to Aisha talk about Dune. They are not great points. She's wrong on a lot of them, but still, listen, it's interesting.
Goodness me.
No,
I
I'm
would think
joking. I'm
this was
joking.
a strategic attack.
She she actually liked Dune despite all the nerves in her body that tell her not to. Spoilers. I think
I
she gave it
love
4 out of 5
Dune,
stars.
and
As
I'll
like
watch it
a hater
again
like that.
tomorrow
So
night.
yeah, go watch Dune.
You're
And
gonna watch it
Again
again.
and again and again.
oh,
No, 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 not for a
Lovely.
while, but
I'm doing my
I'll
third
watch
one
it.
this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that'll be the final one. But like in my defense, my friends were like, "Do you want to watch Dune like before it came out?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I can watch it a second time."
No free will, autonomy,
No.
but
I was
you
like,
were
no,
like,
because I was like, oh, that's fine. I would rewatch because I was gonna rewatch. I would rewatch, and they were like, oh, we can watch it 3 weeks from when it releases. I was like, okay, but like I would have watched it before then already. So like I don't mind watching it a third time, but like I'm not gonna wait 3 weeks to watch. Like that was not my first time of watching. I was like, I can't do that. So
but I still think that you and your, male pals should really do a response episode to what we've
I'm
said.
not doing a response episode.
That would be so fun.
Yes,
Like
but I don't
you
want to
It
should
give.
would
like
be
have
so
like
much
a
fun
whole.
though.
No, we had
I
considered it, but I
really
don't want to
think
give
that
certain
you should.
people credence. Certain people that asked for a response
Oh,
episode, I don't want to
fair,
give them credence. So I'll not be doing
fair. Okay,
a
fine,
response episode. Um,
fine.
go, go. I don't know actually when I'll talk about. I'll probably talk about doing sometime during the Oscars or something. Go read my letterbox. I have like four
Okay.
lines there. I don't give reviews on letterbox. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening.
Everyone.
Bye. Aisha Lolade, thank you for joining once more. Lolade, I guess your appearance on next episode depends on you watching June 2. We'll find out if you're ill or not. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll
Guys,
see.
thank you very
We'll
much.
see.
Join me next week and I'll be joined by the Oscar winner, Daniel Kaluuya. Bye guys.
Boo boo boo.